to everybody. I'm Valerie Zimreva from Future Time, and right now I have a guest for you. Is Thiago. Hello, Thiago.
Hello, Valeria. Hello, guys.
Let's start. Can you please to introduce yourself for our viewers?
Of course. So my name is Thiago Cesar. I am from Brazil. Our company is also from Brazil, and we focus on two aspects: asset management, especially for Latin Americans, and we are the creators of the first Brazilian stablecoin. It's called BRZ tokens.
Great. I heard that you have just come back from Miami conference. What is your general impression about this conference?
Well, Miami is a place that is very important for us, especially because of the presence of Latin American community there. So you have a big population of Colombians, Cubans, Brazilians. So for our market, it's very important. The conference in Miami it was nice. It was in the Versace mansion, the gala dinner. We received the prize because of our stablecoin. It was quite interesting. We saw the usual suspects of crypto there. Brock Pierce, Bobby Lee, everyone was there. And the weather is always beautiful in Miami. So, I mean, it's a good place. They have the Blockchain Center in Miami, which sponsored the conference. So it was good, especially for our company because of the Latin American people that are there.
Great. And actually, what do you expect from the Davos from this year?
What are you going to speak about during your keynote speech?
Well, basically, I'll speak about the stablecoin because it's the first emerging country stablecoin from a developing country. Everyone knows there is dollar tether, True USD, but they are from the dollar. We are actually pegging our stablecoin with the Brazilian currency. So we are giving financial freedom to a country that is developing still, like Brazil. 200 million people who don't have access to international finance, now they can with our stablecoin. So I'll talk about that. I'll talk about the insertion of developing countries in the international economy. And I think Davos is a top event you can go because you have government officials, presidents, state leaders here. Monday, I had a meeting with the president of the Brazilian Government Bank of Development. So we had a one-to-one meeting. So this is the place to meet high-level government people. We even have a contact with a guy from Ukraine, from the World Trade Organization as well. So this is the place to be if you want to do high-level business. This is Davos.
So it's opened the doors for some new opportunities, right?
For sure. Maybe opportunities you cannot find in other conferences outside of Switzerland, outside of Davos. Because you have in such a small town, a lot of important people. So this is the perfect scenario, right? It's the best. Yeah.
And actually, part of your business is based in Brazil, and that's really interesting to get to know. Have the market changed over the last year? Many people say the market is booming, and some huge conference scheduled for the current year in Brazil. Tell us more about the recent changes, please.
Perfect. Well, Brazilians, they live a very complicated life in terms of international finance. So Bitcoin was a way for Brazilians to actually make international payments. And actually in Brazil, we have more investors in Bitcoin than in the actual stock market. So it's a very inclusive technology. Everyone can participate. So that's why I would say cryptocurrencies or digital assets, they are booming in Latin America in general. Not only Brazil, but Argentina, Venezuela. Those countries are really using cryptocurrency. It makes sense for those countries. So the scenario looks good. Brazil is going up the hill. I mean, it's going up. The country is benefiting from cryptocurrencies. The government is friendly with innovation now. We have a new president. He's friendly. So I think all those elements together make for a perfect 2020 for Brazil and for cryptocurrencies.
Great. And how did you see how the actual cryptocurrency and blockchain can to grow up in Brazil in 2020?
Well, I think that the first thing that blockchain can help in Brazil is financial inclusion. We have 200 million people in Brazil, but 40 million don't have a bank account. They don't have access to a bank account.
Okay.
So blockchain can actually integrate those people with international finance. Then you have the currency controls, where Brazilians, they have a hard time to get dollars, euros. So stable coins, for example, can help them. So Brazil is the perfect scenario, for blockchain technology to help people to integrate financially. That's the perfect.
Great. Thanks for your answer, because we are actually open our eyes what is going on in Brazil.
Oh, for sure.
Brazil, a tax agency, the Department of Federal Revenue, RIV, recently published a new tax code that specifies finance for taxpayer who failed to declare the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency transactions. Did the measure cause any serious effect in Brazil crypto business, your business in particular?
Yes, for sure. Right now, every company in Brazil has to declare to the tax authority all the transactions that are being done with cryptocurrencies. So that means that the exchanges, they have to tell every customer how much they bought in terms of Bitcoin, how much they paid, and has to declare to the government. So it changed. It cleaned the market in a sense, because now the good players, they stayed, and the players who were not so compliant or so good, they started to go away. However, it's a little bit of it's too much by the government to ask those details. But we understand. We are talking about a Latin American country that has problems like corruption and sometimes money laundering. So the governments they're keeping their eyes on top of those issues. That's why they're demanding that. So yes, it impacted our business. Our company used to sell like 500 Bitcoins per day in Brazil. And now we are rearranging our flows. It dropped like to 300 per day, but it's catching up again. So it's a matter of the adaptation. The businesses, they have to adapt in Brazil.
You still have to spend some time.
They spend some time to understand the legislation, to understand the requirements of the regulator, and especially the banks. Now they are doing new requests because they want to be compliant with the government. So it's a adaptation time. It's an adaptation.
Okay, and when you think it will start working like properly?
I think that by April, like 2-3 more months, because we also need feedback from the government, right? Like, I mean, we sent you the report, so is it okay? Is it good? So the banks will start to feel comfortable again, the companies will feel comfortable, and then everything goes business as usual.
Yeah, it's actually about the security reason, I think.
Security reason, exactly.
And tell us, please, about your recent progress.
Which milestones Transfero Swiss reached last year?
Well, right now we are aiming to grow the stablecoin usage in Brazil. Right now we do almost $1 million every day in terms of stablecoin in Brazil. We sell that to the Brazilian public. So our future plans include integrating our stablecoin to international debit card.
It's for 2020?
For 2020. It's already ongoing. I had a meeting here in Davos. So most probably soon we will see an international debit card that can be loaded with our stablecoin.
Wow,
that
means so exciting.
It's so exciting because then finally Brazilians will be able to spend money using their crypto, their stablecoin in any shop. So that's amazing. And we are, of course, growing our asset management department. A lot of Brazilians are looking into cryptocurrencies as investments. So we are growing our funds. We have 3 funds in the Bahamas, regulated funds. So we are growing our asset management side of the business as well.
Great. And actually, from my experience, I know that the team in the company is one of the important points. Maybe you can also tell us a couple of words about your team, how many people you're working, where you base it, and...
Perfect. Well, our biggest office and the main office, the first one, we opened in 2015. We are old school company in crypto. Is in Rio de Janeiro, in front of Ipanema Beach. It's beautiful. We have 35 people there. I have to congratulate my team because last year our fund had a yield of 190% in the year. I mean, it was even better than Bitcoin in terms of profits. So congratulations to the team.
Congratulations from me as well.
Yes. We also have the office in Switzerland, in Zug, which is the crypto valley, right? Here we have 3 people in Zug. And it's where we develop most of our business, and then we bring those businesses to Brazil. We have the entity in the Bahamas where our funds are, and we also have an office in Liechtenstein because of the EU regulation. As you may know, Switzerland is outside of the EU, so we have Switzerland and Liechtenstein to have the whole Europe regulation covered. So yeah, 35 people. We don't want to grow much more. We prefer to be efficient with less people. I mean, we want good people, not a lot of people. So yeah, the professional, exactly. And yeah, I mean, the plans for 2020 look amazing.
Exciting. So exciting to see how it's going to be growing your business, of course. We were looking to see. And as you know, our media Future Time AI is about the future trends.
How do you think, which trends are going to be the hottest in 2020?
Well, I think one of the things that people are not looking at, but it can work a lot, is if you think about the BRICS countries like Brazil, Russia, China, right now every international trade being made by those countries goes through the US dollar. It has to go through America in a sense. With the creation of cryptocurrencies and stable coins, we actually can see a direct corridor between Brazil and Russia, Brazil and China, without going through the US dollar. So I think that a trend that will happen now is pairs of stable coins. Let's say a stable coin from Russia, a stable coin from Brazil, and business being done directly between those 2 countries without the involvement of the American Central Bank, for example. So this is a development that cryptocurrencies will bring, especially to developing countries. And I think that's a game changer. It changes the political power around the world because now you're not dependent anymore. You can do it directly. without any barriers. So people are not looking into that, but we are. We think that's the future, especially in terms of stable coins. And the second thing for the future is asset tokenization, but that everyone talks about that. So you take an apartment, you tokenize it, or a private jet. That already they already know. So we also think that's the future.
That's the future. Great, thank you for your answer. And of course, I would like to ask you about the feedback about Future Time Media. It's going to be important for us to know.
Of course, I mean, I love Future Time Media. I'm friends with Kate. I met her like in Montenegro, and I think it's a project that is needed because we need quality content on the internet, and it has to be interesting because we have a lot of media outlets, but it has to be interesting. Nice interviews, good presence, good coverage of events, and I think you're doing it correctly and very well. So thank you very much for the interview, for the invitation. It's a pleasure, and I hope you're enjoying the beautiful Switzerland and the conference in Davos.
We would like to thank you also for your time for this interview. And ladies and gentlemen, it was Valerie Zimre of Future Time and Thiago.
Thank you.
Goodbye.